So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Most of us have probably done the Jungles of Shalt campaign in some capacity, which means you've done the intro quest that leads you to Port Nyanzuru, correct? And if you haven't, you're going to do it soon enough because it's one of the early things that you do. So part of this intro quest leading to Port Nyanzuru is you hop on these raptors, you are running away from the King of Spines, you cross a bridge, the King of Spines can no longer follow you, you've escaped him, you continue making your way to Port Nyanzuru. Now, the weird thing about this map is it's a beautiful map, beautifully detailed, great intro to what to expect from the Jungles of Shalt. Now, the thing is, the developers added a lot of extra details and a lot of what I would refer to as hidden gems on this tiny little quest map, which I say tiny, but it ain't tiny. It is huge. It is freaking huge. So the first little hidden gem that I think is weird is the King of Spines itself. Normally in these kinds of quest zones, when you have a enemy NPC that you are not interacting with, it's usually just, it lights up blue and it says Neverwinter Commoner or something like that. They don't actually make the enemy a real enemy because you're not interacting with it. You'll never know any different. There's no point to it. Correct? So anyways, this King of Spines is different. When you aggro it, he actually runs back to his spawn point. So then you have to run all the way back yourself too. And sure enough, he is there. His health bar is still red. And you can continue attacking him. Now, he doesn't attack back, but at some point around half his health points, he falls over like the normal King of Spines would. And it's just, why would they add this bit of programming into it when they really don't need to? You know what I'm saying? It's just, it's bizarre why they would do this. But they did it anyways, and I'm all for it. Now, the other really weird thing about this map is the sheer size of it. It has a huge desert out back. And cross-referencing this terrain with the terrain of Soshenstar River, Lost City of Amu, and even Port Nyanzuru itself, it does not add up at all. It just doesn't. So why it exists is literally just another curiosity of the game that nobody will understand. So that exists. The other really weird thing is the details on this map. So there's like a river that you can go in through this desert, and it's a pretty long river, and it has cliffs and hills, and it's detailed too. So it has, you know, like rock, dirt, terrain kind of thing. And you can run in this river. You could do everything in this river. And it's just really, really odd. Like, why is it there? Why would the devs create this in the first place? You feel what I mean? So there's that. Then the other thing that is on this map that is very, very weird, maybe not a lot of people would realize, but normally when they add things such as the floating debris that we see in the water off the shore, because obviously shipwrecked, you're there, blah, 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 right? Your ship is burning down, it's broken into pieces. And the thing is, normally when they add these details, they fail to add collision. And if you're not familiar with what the word collision means in a game setting, it just means that it is something that you will not pass through. Either you will stand on it, it will contain you from walking into somewhere you shouldn't. So that's the ground, the rock. It's just something you cannot pass through. Anything your character touches that you cannot pass through. That is what collision is. And every single individual piece of debris has perfect collision. It's really, really surprising how perfect the collision is. And it's a very odd detail to see on a quest map. You know, probably from a player perspective, you don't really realize how weird that is. But having broken so many maps, I can tell you, that is pretty unusual. Not unheard of, but it's unusual. Now, the other detail is the water. So in order to make the water something you can run through, they have to add a second layer of clear collision. So that way you don't just fall through the water all the way to the bottom of whatever body of water you're walking over, right? So they add a second layer of collision. But you can jump off this collision and then jump back in, and you end up on the bottom. So that tells me they added a second layer of collision so that you can walk through the water without intending anyone to walk through the water. You see what I mean? It's just, it is weird. It is weird, weird stuff. Not to mention that behind the map, there's also a really sketched out version of Port Nyanzuru. And it has pretty much all the essential details to make it look like Port Nyanzuru. It has the docks, the boxes, the walls, most of the buildings. It has the door, and there's no door in it, so you can run through it. So it has this whole mini version, the sketched out version of Port Nyanzuru in the map. And again, why? Why is it there? Nobody's gonna see it. Nobody's gonna know any different. So why on earth would you put it there? So all in all, it's a beautiful map. Absolutely huge. Most of these details serve no purpose, and I can't help but wonder, was there supposed to be like a part 3 to, you know, the Jungles of Shulk campaign? There were 2 parts, maybe there was supposed to be a 3rd part. I have no idea. Maybe the intro quest was meant to be a lot more than what it is, it's still a pretty detailed quest. So, I don't know, what are your thoughts? What do you think was the purpose of this huge map? And yeah, come back tomorrow for, I guess, part 2, because there is a whole other gigantic part of this map that I think people will also find really interesting, why this would all be literally in the same instance. So this is just the half of it. So yeah, stay tuned and come back tomorrow to find the other half of this mysterious quest map. So yeah, ciao.